Oh, Seamoth, you're so kind. Haha, but you're being replaced. So, hey guys, I've actually got something kind of cool for you. A couple of cool things that are actually kind of cool. Really cool. Okay, so do you remember the Atlas submarine that, you know what? No, let's not go with the Atlas. Do you remember the Wasp submarine? I actually made a video on this a while ago, like last year sometime. I'm playing some footage here for you. And this was basically a submarine that a modder had worked really hard to bring into Subnautica, the game, and, well, kind of just check out a new submarine. Now, we can bring up the Atlas. Do you remember the Atlas submarine? The most clickbaited submarine, by yours truly, on YouTube. Now, seriously, it was a really cool sub-concept. I really wanted to see it. Now, the second coolest thing was the Manta. The Manta was the, I guess, upcoming submarine past the Atlas, you know, that was second most hyped on the spectrum of hype for Subnautica, right? Well, I actually got this. This incredibly blurry potato quality footage was sent to me on Twitter, and it shows the Manta submarine finally in game in Subnautica. Now, you can go inside of it, and you can actually pilot it as well. But you know what? We're not gonna do this video. We're not gonna mess around with the video, because I don't want to show you video footage of someone else using this submarine. And that's because we can actually spawn it ourselves in our copy of the game. Now, surprisingly, too, I've spoken with the mod developer of this right here, this fancy little submarine, and they're going to try and bring it in to Subnautica Below Zero. We may actually have a submarine modified in to Subnautica Below Zero if this works. I got to get out of the radiation zone because I'm in actual survival mode. So, bam, right there. So this is the Manta submarine, guys. This is the submarine that had a lot of hype around it, and the project has finally been brought into the game. Now, this isn't official. This isn't from the developers of Subnautica. But all in all, it is... I didn't mean to do that. All in all, it is a really large submarine. Now, I know the texturing is a little bit bad, and in general, it doesn't really look as good as we would want. However, I'm pretty sure they're going to be working on that and fixing some of the stuff. Apparently, the rendering software or something like that didn't work out. I had a feeling it was just the model of the Manta submarine upscaled, but seeing as everything actually works, I don't really think it may be the model. I think this is actually completely custom. We've got a bay here.
Captain, all systems online.
We've got the Cyclops sounds, which they actually have some custom sounds that I can show you in just a second for the voiced up. I guess this is the docking bay for a Seamoth. This door doesn't actually open yet, unfortunately. We can't go into the back of it, and it may never open. Who knows? But regardless, we can pilot this as well. I'm in the radioactive zone. That's cool. So if we use our number keys, we can actually make this thing move. Power it up. Come on, back up, because I don't want the radiation poisoning. So yeah, it actually moves around. It operates just like the Cyclops submarine, because I'm pretty sure it's built off of the base of that. There's no custom animations just yet. But either way, I mean, this thing has been waited for so long. I honestly don't care if there's no animations just yet. If they're going to add them in the future, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Like, it has every aspect of what we have seen so far with the concepts of the Manta. And let me just show you this. So it doesn't quite work yet. However, if you look, we actually can open the cargo bay right there for the Seamoth. It has all of that custom modeled in as well. Unfortunately, it won't pick us up just yet because it's not scripted to, and it's not actually implemented. But it has two bellies. One is for entering, and then one is for the Seamoth. Now let's move back to those sounds I was talking about. Here are the custom sounds that are going to be for the Manta.
Welcome aboard, Captain. All systems online. Ahead standard. Ahead slow. Ahead flank. Emergency speed. Warning. Warning. Maximum depth reached. Welcome aboard, Captain. Some systems need attention. Emergency. System failure. Drone undocked. Drone docked. Power low. Caution. Hull integrity low. Warning. Hull integrity critical.
So that's basically that, and I have a feeling these are the normal Cyclops sounds, just modified heavily in some audio engineering software or whatever. How it could be custom, but I get the sense of exact voice lines with the Cyclops. I feel like I would try and change the voice lines of anything, so we'll have to see how that goes. As it stands, since this mod is super early as well, it does not take damage, and creatures don't really seem to mess with it, and unfortunately it also doesn't have a radar system, so you can't really tell what's coming around to do bad things to you, or, well, anything else. Now, I also have something else to show you. We've also got a pretty unique look at a submarine called the Odyssey. Now, at first glance, it does look like it is just the Cyclops downsized. Well, it's not. You can see right here, it has 2 custom propellers on the very back of it, and some key features of this do look different in comparison to what we see in the Cyclops. And I don't really see a bottom cargo bay door either or anything like that, so I feel like this is almost entirely custom, if not entirely custom. And actually, we've got a great view right here of what's going to be happening with different features and what's going to be happening with the submarine. We see the engine bay back here. We see the door and then some other things happening as well here. And this is to scale of the prawn suit, the submarine Seamoth, and a human. Now, you know, it's all fine and dandy to look at this as images, but guess who's got the sweet hookup and they can spawn in this submarine as well? Yeah, now this submarine doesn't work just yet. There's nothing we can actually do with this except look at it and see how pretty it is. And actually, I'm going to spawn a Cyclops as well. So this is the Odyssey. This is the Cyclops. You can see right off the bat, on the very back end, 1 propeller. On the back end, we've got 2 propellers. Now, it does seem like it does have some characteristic features of the Cyclops, being that the Cyclops has 2 of these little, I guess, prod things on the back of it. 1 giant engine, 1 giant turbine, and that's it. And it has the same kind of characteristic here, except it's, well, 2 engines instead of just 1. This looks more like a rescue submarine that would go inside the Cyclops or even the Manta than anything else, really, to be honest with you. And obviously, as well, you can see inside of it, same kind of theme it has for the Cyclops, this little dome. Now, we can actually swim inside of this. How do we get in? There's no doorway right here. You don't get in through the front of it. Well, no. You get in through the back of this submarine. As for right now, at least, we get into the back. Now, where's the button? Where do I click? Well, you don't click. You actually just kind of swim right in. Now, I can't really see anything happening right here right now. There we go. All right, I had to swim in a little bit. I might get a flashlight and just look around. But you can see it's a very compact, small sub. And, well, it has its own little characteristics and stuff. Let me just bring in a flashlight right here. All right. So, let's take a look. You can see inside here, we've got a little bay. We've also got the main command hub, which is significantly smaller than the Cyclops. We can actually move back here even more, and you can move back even further. Now, I believe this is the engine bay that we saw in the diagnostics diagram and stuff that we had before. And then this is like a little docking bay as well, I assume, or like a little bay that you can be in. And this right here, or the bay down below, down here, this is the doorway. Yeah, so we have other sections right here, too. I don't know if a Seamoth is going to go in this. I don't think this thing is going to be capable of carrying a Seamoth. I mean, to be honest with you, it doesn't really look like it will be. I wonder, is this whole thing solid? Can I go through any of this? No, it's actually got all collision set up, so that's great, too. Yeah, this is basically the entrance right here. This little hatch would open for the Odyssey. Go in, and bam. That's actually really cool. I like this. However, there does not seem to be a legitimate way to get inside of the submarine just yet. You have to go through the floor. I assume this would be the command hub and, well, obviously where you control it. But I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments section. What do you think the Odyssey? I feel like it's a much more polished product than the Manta right now, but it also doesn't move. You can't really, you know, use it to get around and stuff, which kind of sucks. But, you know, in general, it is kind of cool. I'm going to take this Manta out for a quick little spin and really just see how it operates. It's not going to be good at, like, deep levels because it doesn't even have a light system right now. There's no lights or anything. I think the Odyssey has a light system set up by default, and this guy, unfortunately, doesn't. However, you can see how it reacts and stuff like that in the ocean. It's basically a Cyclops, but not a Cyclops. Damn it, freaking radiation. Get out of here. I should have made this in free roam, but, well, it's not a big deal. Yeah, I want. Wait, can I impact this guy right here? Bang. No, it didn't do anything to you. Oh, okay. All right, we're going up. That's kind of cool. So yeah, that's basically that. I remember a long time ago, I spoke to some modders about Subnautica and how this stuff would work in game. And like everyone was like, no, you can't mod submarines into Subnautica. It's just not possible. No way to do it at all. And yet these guys are doing the impossible with not just one, but 2 completely custom submarines. I don't know how they managed to do this, and I unfortunately am not allowed to give you the files either that they've given me, seeing as these are super early test files, yada yada. But I would love to see them in Subnautica Below Zero. It would actually be kind of cool to see. But regardless, I'm not allowed to give these out. I know a lot of you guys wanted the Wasp submarine. I know a lot of you wanted to mess around with that. But unfortunately, I cannot give the files out. And I already know people are going to be asking about them. So that's basically that. As far as this guy, I mean, this is basically it. Like if I switch it to night, I don't actually have to go deep in the water, but you can really see, you know, like you can't see anything at night. This thing is just blind at night. I see a little bit of glowing right here for bioluminescence. That's basically it. I'm kind of curious about the prawn suit, though, and if this will get detected at all by it. Wait, is this... Will it accept the prawn suit? Oh, wait, did you guys... It's like it wants to pick it up, but it can't. I don't know if that's just a bug or if it's genuinely like, hey, we want to pick you up, but we can't get you past the model right now. I don't know. That's kind of weird. So anyways, that's it for the submarines that I have to show you and the cool custom projects being worked on in Subnautica. What's this? Something weird happening here. I think I broke my game. All right, well, I want to move into something else now that was shown on the Favreau for Subnautica, because we all know Subnautica Below Zero is launching tomorrow at some time. And while I'm not going to give you any spoilers, I can say, so far from my experience... Okay, I can't say anything else because I can feel myself wanting to leak stuff. So anyways, let's move into the other stuff. So I'm sure you guys are aware of the Ice Dragon Leviathan and its concept for Subnautica Below Zero. Unfortunately, it still appears to be a cut candidate, and we will be checking out the other cut candidates in just a moment, but we do have some new artwork to check out in, I guess, with this guy and everything that's going on with it. So that's basically that. See, the advertisements right here. I got Giuseppe Donati sneakers. I was looking up some stuff. Leave me alone. I like shoes. So anyways... This is the original concept, I believe, that we had been fed a while ago about this guy right here. And then we got this. I think the only main difference is that it's got all the fins like the Pinacardi. I think that's what it's called. Then, you know, these 2 giant wings. And then we move into another side view right here of another creature design. And finally, we have these right here. And... with this one, I wanted to show you this one, but it wouldn't do the thing. So this is the Ice Dragon face on. Now, originally, I didn't really think this thing would be too scary to meet in game, you know, from the side view. But now that I see, this is literally just a gumdrop compared to this guy's mouth, and he's looking directly at it with 4 eyes. Oh man, this is like the Sea Dragon Leviathan all over again. And that's basically that. Just the Sea Dragon Leviathan all over again. I would love to see the concept of this thing opening its mouth more than anything else, but, you know, we can't have everything we want. You can see it's fairly massive. It is definitely going to be a Leviathan-class creature, possibly the biggest Leviathan-class creature we have yet in Subnautica. It may dwarf the Ghost Leviathan. It may be more comparable in size to the Sea Dragon, seeing as the Sea Dragon is one of the biggest, if not the biggest entity in Subnautica. And in general, I think if it came down to a fight between the two, the Sea Dragon might actually win. And I say that because the Sea Dragon shoots fireballs. Unless this thing can shoot like ice balls or something like that to counter the Sea Dragon. And, well, it doesn't seem to have as big of a mouth as the Sea Dragon. Its skull is definitely not as big either. Probably doesn't have as much bite force as I feel like in a battle, Sea Dragon would probably destroy this thing, to be honest with you. Because the Sea Dragon, to me, reminds me of like a giant Moza with arms. Like, that's the way I see the Sea Dragon. And this thing is more like a wyvern or something like that, if that makes sense. And the best way, I guess, to come to the conclusion that the Sea Dragon probably has more bite force is if you can compare the 2 models, and one head is bigger than the other, that's no homo. But if one head is bigger than the other, no homo, then you can typically come to the conclusion that the bite force of the one with the bigger skull is going to be significantly higher. You can see this in dinosaurs and dogs as well. Bigger skull means more bite force, so Gonna be interesting to see how this plays out with this guy right here. We also found out about a new creature called the discus fish, or whatever you want to call it. And well, this is basically the little guy right here. I don't know much about this creature, unfortunately. If I go through, I try and find anything about it. Like this, I don't think there's anything about it really. That's just the Shadow Leviathan. Like, I don't really know of much when it comes to this fish. You see this guy right here, obviously, there's different forms of it, but in general, I think this is just more or less one of those mundane, you know, like, hey, we got a new fish species, and we put it in the game, and it doesn't really serve any purpose or anything. Maybe just you catch it, cook it, you eat it, and that's basically that. There's also the Ventagarden, I believe it's called, and this is 1/2 scale, we believe, in-game as well, and, well, it's a giant monstrosity that's also a cut candidate. Actually, these are all the cut candidates right here. I don't understand why the deployable drill is a cut candidate, but it kind of makes sense at the same time because it very well could be just really inconvenient to have to use a deployable drill and keep on going back to this one hub for resources. The Vent Garden as well, cut candidate. The Ice Dragon too, unfortunately. This guy right here, the Spy Penguin, which is probably one of my favorite things in the game they've been working on, may not make it as well. However, maybe it will, because I know they've been doing a lot of work on this. But that's more or less that. There is a metal detector, a remote scanner, a flashlight helmet, and phase gates as well, and precursor tethers. You know, all of these could be cut out of the game as ideas, and I understand why they'd want to do this guy, especially because it's massive as hell, and it's its own little map inside a map that's already pretty big. So I kind of get why they would want to redo their idea on this, or maybe even just destroy it entirely. There's no updates on the Ice Worm here either, so I'm gonna get rid of you. Shadow Leviathan does have some pretty interesting artwork to show. However, I believe I've shown this stuff in a previous video as well. I mean, you can just see in general, I believe this is the one I had shown where I felt like it looked like a Dilo skull than anything else, and well, it's basically that. You can see some different takes on its skull as well when it's closed, when it's open, yada yada, so on and so forth. You get the idea of that stuff. This is the portfolio that Alex Reese also made when it came to Subnautica and everything happening with this for Below Zero. But in general, that's pretty well it. So yeah, that's basically that. We have a hover lizard that we were looking at, yada yada. You get the idea, and then there's the emperors and stuff. But more or less, you know, that's basically it for now when it comes to Subnautica Below Zero. I'm also aware that there is a script currently being translated. The developers gave one out, and it more or less shows everything happening in Subnautica Below Zero. You know, all of that fancy stuff. Now, I myself would like to go into this. However, I feel like IGP did a really good job himself doing a video on that, explaining everything that happens, and I don't really need to reiterate on anything that's happened there. So I'm not going to be doing that. Check out his video, though, if you want to find out the storyline of Subnautica Below Zero. There's some pretty interesting stuff there as well. And like I said, I probably won't be doing a video on that until at least Subnautica Below Zero is playable, which should be tomorrow at some point. We should have access to stuff like that. So we'll check that stuff out. But guys, that is it for now on Subnautica Below Zero. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You like the fancy little submarines we got going on here. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you like the little submarines that we've got going on right here. Just checking some things out. I think it's going to be pretty cool to see this stuff in game if it ever does make it in game. And in general, you know, I want to see these modders continue with their projects and continue to do some great stuff for Subnautica. I really want to see this in Below Zero because I would love to have an Odyssey submarine. It's like perfect. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's a small, compact submarine. It would be perfect for Below Zero. Hell, it'd be perfect for normal Subnautica. This is basically all we need. We don't need something massive. We just need like a little rescue sub or a medic sub. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that down below in the comments section. And let me know as well if you want to see this in Below Zero as a modded thing, because it'd be kind of cool. That's it, guys. I will see you in the next video.